With the US tariffs slamming Canadian goods and all the talk about turning Canada into the 51st state, it is no wonder that Canadians are selling out in Florida. Tensions between our two countries are at an all-time high. But is this the real reason that Canadians are selling right now in the state of Florida, or is there another reason? I have actually found 7 reasons that people are selling out, and they have all but one have nothing to do with the current tensions between our two countries. They have to do with other things. I also found a couple of reasons that people are actually holding on to their properties, and I would say I'm going to get into a little bit of why I think that for some people it is the right move right now to sell your property if you're a Canadian investor in the state of Florida, and for other people it might be a good thing to hold on to it. So if you'll stay with me a little while, we'll get into that when we get into it further down in the video. Sorry. My name is Danholm, and I help Canadians and everybody else who wants to help make smarter real estate decisions, whether it's about buying, selling, or just figuring out what to do with the property you already own. I've been in this Florida real estate market for quite a while, and I've followed it and I've worked in it for a long time, so I have quite a lot of experience with it, and I've helped many foreign nationals buying and selling in the state of Florida. So we have a whole team set up that will guide you through the whole process if you should find that buying and selling right now is the right move for you. But let's get into some reasons why for some people it might be the right move to move, sell out and cash out on your investment, and for some other people it might not be the right time. The first reason that it might be a good time for a lot of people to sell out right now is the weak loonie, the Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar has lost a lot of value over the last, especially the last 12 months, about more than 5%. And if I can figure out how to do this, I will share my screen with you. So now you can see my screen, I hope. And this is a graph showing the how the Canadian dollar has fared over the last 12 months from March 2024 to March 2025. And as you can see, from its high to its low, it's gone down by about 5.5%. Which is a lot, especially if you add in all the price hikes that we've had here in the Sunshine State on top of that. So not only are you seeing increases in your cost of owning a property here in Florida, but you're also seeing an additional increase because of the weak Canadian dollar at the moment. So monthly expenses, let's say you have $4,000 US monthly expenses, they now convert to $5,714 Canadian monthly expenses, at least as of today. When you come down here, groceries, gas, other expenses, dining out, maintenance, and tax, of course, all adds up. And not only are these expenses going up, but because of the weak Canadian dollar, if you pay them with the Canadian dollar, they're going up even more. And if you're on a fixed income of retirement income, which a lot of snowbirds are, it's just not adding up anymore. So that's one good reason a lot of Canadians are selling out right now. Skyrocketing insurance costs, which obviously are rocketing, can't even say that word, skyrocketing even more because of the weak loonie. But even without that, for a lot of people, after the last few years with hurricanes, they have noticed that insurance premiums have jumped up in some cases from $1,600 a year to as much as $16,000 a year US. And again, if you add up the additional loss if you're paying with Canadian dollars, that's it's even worse. Florida now has the highest home insurance rates in the United States, 3 times the national average. So definitely a reason for a lot of people selling out, especially if you're not renting out your property. And it's a good reason because these insurance premiums are not going to go down anytime soon. They're probably going to go up even more as more and more insurance companies are pulling out of the state. Rising property taxes, another reason. That's my number 3 reason on my little chart here. Property taxes and condo fees and HOA fees, they're all going up. Assessments, especially condo fees, but even HOA fees have gone up. I mean, an average, an HOA fee that was a few years ago, 5 years ago, was $500 a year, is now probably $900. Sorry, $500 a month is probably now $900 a month. So it's gone up a lot. It's almost doubled in 5 years. And condo associations are even worse. Their fees are going up at an even higher rate. And on top of that, a lot of them, especially if they are in buildings that are hit by those new regulations that we got after the terrible building collapse in East Florida. They're seeing special assessments, typically $20,000 to $25,000 special assessment, but in some cases more than $100,000 to just pay for those mandatory upgrades and repairs. So definitely a reason for people to sell it, simply pricing up, and it makes absolutely no sense if you own a condo and you're only using it for vacation purposes to own something that's costing you that much money. So a lot of people are cashing out and taking their money back home to Canada because of things like that. Climate risks and national disasters. Number 4 on my little list here. In 2024 alone, hurricanes cost $40 billion in insured losses in the state of Florida. When Hurricane Ian hit back in 2022, 6 insurers collapsed. So it's something that's pretty devastating. But beyond all that financial toll that hurricanes obviously are causing, it's costing a lot of money whether you have insurance or not. It's also the emotional cost, the fear of evacuation if you're down here, storm damage, and living in a high-risk zone could be just too much. One person said to me, I just ain't going nowhere that's got hurricanes anymore. So that's a big reason for Canadians to sell out, because it's getting too stressful, not just financially stressful, but also emotionally stressful. And then other maintenance, roof repairs are going up, and in Florida, if you have a shingle roof, you should ideally replace it every 10 to 15 years. And a few years ago, I would say 5-6 years ago, for most vacation home size properties, you could replace a shingle roof for less than $10,000. That cost has now gone up to $20,000 to $30,000. So again, if you have to pay that with Canadian, they've gone up an additional 5.5%. Windows upgrades, same thing. Everything is going up. So it means that some homeowners are forced to remortgage just to stay compliant, or just to make necessary repairs on their homes. Again, if you're owning a home for the purpose of having a relaxed time, it's just not worth it if you're having a vacation home. So a lot of Canadians are selling out for that reason. But there's another thing that a lot of people don't talk about, and that's the change in travel habits, especially with younger people. Younger retirees, they want more flexibility. A lot of Canadians have decided that rather than spend every single winter and every vacation in the state of Florida, why not try new places like Mexico, Arizona, Portugal, Dominican Republic, anything else, just to see a little bit other than Florida. See the rest of the world too. Like somebody said, buying in Florida, that's what our grandparents did. Now we want to travel more. So if you, especially people who inherited property in the Sunshine State, are more likely to sell it because they want to spend the money on traveling and seeing other parts of the world. They've been here as kids maybe, and now they want to see the rest of the world. And then back to the thing we started with, the political and regulatory uncertainty that we're seeing, and that is a big one. While it's probably not the biggest reason, because these are things that people can get used to, but they do factor in as well. We are targeting Canadian goods, Canadian lumber, Canadian dairy, and it makes the Canadians angry, so they want to sell, and I get it. It makes sense. And then on top of that, our government has been floating the idea of making Canada the 51st state. Another thing that Canadians are probably not too happy about, if you watch the news anyways. So that's something that just plays into it. But here's something that really matters. As of April 11th this year, Canadians who want to stay in the US for more than 30 days, which a lot of snowbirds do, now need to register with immigration. And while the process is not too complicated, and it's actually pretty easy, and as of the time when I made this video, it is also free to do, it just makes coming to Florida more complicated, which is another reason that a lot of Canadians decide they want to sell out and bring their money home and maybe travel to see the rest of the world, maybe go to places that are not as complicated as the US. So for a lot of people it makes sense to sell out, and it makes for some people emotional and the financial sense to sell out. But There are also reasons that you might want to hold on to your Florida investment property, especially if you're looking at the long-term picture. Because if you bought when the loonie was strong, you didn't pay as much for your property in Canadian dollars as people who are buying now, for instance. And you are probably seeing great returns, not only if you're, especially if you're renting it out, but also in terms of appreciation of your property. So selling now would mean you are cashing in on capital gains and a favorable exchange rate, which could be good, but it also means that there'll be some tax implications. And if you're renting it out, you might actually see that the weak loonie is an advantage, because if you're making a net profit in the US, that net profit has become more valuable to you because it translates into more Canadian dollars now than it did before. And just like there are a lot of emotions involved in seeing your home destroyed by a hurricane, there's also a lot of emotions and emotional attachment involved in a home that you owned for years. It's second home, it's a routine, you're used to coming here, you're part of the communities, you build memories, you build relationship with the locals and other snowbirds, and it's just maybe, even if it's not a full-time lifestyle, it's an annual return to a probably more relaxed lifestyle. So there's that, a lot of people. And if you have that emotional attachment to your Florida property, even with all that's going on right now, and whether that's tariffs or additional border control or whatever it is, a weak loonie, that might be a really good reason to hold on to your property. And if you're renting it out, like I said, you might see that, or you will see that if you're making a profit, that the weak Canadian dollar actually makes that profit even more valuable when you bring it home. Another reason people are a little hesitant to sell is the FIRPTA rules and Canadian tax implications, because if you do make money on your property, you will be taxed on it as a capital gains, because it's a second home, it's an investment property, and selling can be a tax nightmare without the right advice and the right professionals behind you. For instance, in the US, we have the FIRPTA tax, which is the Foreign Investment and Real Property Tax Act, which means that the IRS automatically withholds 15% of your sale price, not your profit, not your net profit, but your sale price. You will be able to get some of that money back, because depending on a lot of things, that's something you need to talk to a CPA about, but initially at closing there will be a withholding tax of 15%, which is a big chunk, especially if you have a mortgage. Some people might actually have to bring money to the closing table to make up for that cash. And then in Canada, I'm not a US tax expert, I'm even less a Canadian tax expert, but I would be very surprised if you're not facing some capital gains tax, unless at least you claim your foreign tax credits correctly. There are some double taxation agreements, but it's really crucial that if you do sell your property in the state of Florida, that you get proper tax advice to make sure that you minimize your tax burden. So it could be, if you're unprepared, it could be a double tax nightmare. So something that is holding people back, and for good reason, because if you don't have if you haven't started looking into that process, you definitely need to. That's one of the things you need to do before you do anything else. Make sure that you've got your tax advice in place, that you've got somebody to help you with that. And then obviously there's the long-term look at the currency. Well, the Canadian dollar might be weak now, but it could be strong in a few years' time. So just wait for that and hold out for that. So here's what I would like to know now that you're watching my video here. If you own property in Florida and you're thinking, are you thinking about selling it, or are you thinking about holding on? What are your thoughts about that? And if you already sold, was it the right time you sold? Was it the right call, or did you feel that you missed out on your property? You would actually like to have kept it. So please put your comments in below, in your thoughts in the comments below. I would really love to hear your story. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate that very much, and it helps me making even better videos next time. Also, if you are on the fence and you would like to know more about all this, you can call me, email me, or text me, and to get a free consultation. I will walk you through the pros and cons and cost, and I will even give you a free net calculation, not just a home valuation, but a valuation that a calculation that will show you exactly how much you could potentially net if you put your home on the market right now. And also, if you do decide to sell your property for whatever reason, whether it's for political reasons, whether it's for currency reasons, whether it's for just that you had enough of all the hurricanes reason, then do know we have a complete team of people. You don't even have to come down here to prepare your property for sale. We have a team that can help you with that under your instructions. Of course, we can help get it clean, we can help get it maintained, put it up ready for sale. You don't have to come down to do it. We have a team of legal experts, tax experts, and we can even refer you to Canadian tax experts if you don't have a CPA back home in Canada. So we can help you. We obviously cannot give you neither legal nor tax advice, but we have the team in place that can help with all that. So rest assured, as I say, if you do decide to sell, you're not just, if you do it through us, you're not just dealing with a real estate agent. You have a whole team of experts behind you that'll make sure that you go through the process without any incidents. Finally, if you like videos like this, if you want to know more about real estate in the Central Florida area or anywhere else in Florida, please do follow my channel. Maybe hit that little notification bell, and please comment below. Let me know what you think about my videos, because the only way I can make better videos is if people tells me what I need to change. So thank you so much for watching today. Whether you decide to sell, rent, or just stay put, make sure that it's the choice that serves you as a person and not just your wallet, because at the end of the day, it's not all about money. It's about everything. It's about making the right decision for you and your family. See you next time, and until then, if you're up in Canada, try to stay warm and stay smart. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.